Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel, Crafting in a Small Space. I am Miranda, this is Small Space Fifth Wheel, and we are in Portland, Oregon. Okay, so let's be friends and talk about some knitty things and some yarny things and stuff. When we were doing laundry in his dad's dryer, the dryer or washer ate my freaking dress and twisted it until it snapped that one part. So I, of course, have thread here, but I've taken all of my sewing stuff away so my sewing machine doesn't get ruined in this heat of the trailer. So I have thread, but I don't have a needle and I can't fix it. But in the last 10 minutes, I've made 2 videos of an hour ago, and each time he kept busting in the door. Like, he doesn't unlatch the door, he just whips the door open, and the latch is like really loud, and Leah scratched me. But in that amount of time, my hair is just going south. What the hell? But it was doing something so cute yesterday. These were like curled, and I heard and I've seen a lot of my friends when they get older, their hair curls when they get older, and I've hit that point where changes are going on again. And so I keep thinking I'm gonna get cute curly hair because I've always had stupid straight hair. I've tried to perm it twice when I was in my 20s, and it straightened my hair both times. But I've been sitting here just talking to him, and my hair just looks all disheveled, and I really haven't done anything. It's like 85 degrees outside already. Okay, so I just bought these new headphones because one of my headphones is going out on the left side. Look how humongoid this box is. My other one is literally this big next to it. But Lita won't stop bothering me. And they are not noise canceling, which I thought they were, so that kind of sucks because I wanted to use them when we went to his kid's house because his kid and him are just so loud, screaming and jumping around while they play video games and stuff. Okay, so I'm getting really, I have knitter's block. Okay, so my first attempt, I bought Black Friday yarn that I didn't show because I was frustrated with the scam that happened. This is Expression Fiber Arts yarn, and I love their yarn. I got gifted their yarn once. And oh, there's the other one. I got gifted their yarn, and I used it, so when Black Friday came around, I ordered it, and it turns out that their descriptions were completely wrong, and you didn't know you were buying minis. And so I bought this kit of 5. This is the only one that was marked as minis. Everything else was not marked as minis, and the weight was not marked as together. It was seemingly marked as the amount that you would need. So one of the kits came with these beautiful jeweled colors, and so I thought over and over and over, I've ripped out a lot of stuff, and single fingering is just a nightmare. So I've been holding it double. And the pattern, I was like, oh, I can finally do one of her patterns because I have her yarn. But I was like, well, holding it single is going to take me the rest of my life. And every tutorial she does, she says it's fingering yarn. But when you see the item, and when she's knitting the item, she's using DK or higher yarn so that you can see it. But it's you don't get the feel of how the yarn looks holding in people's hands trying to do little tiny fingering yarn. It's too much of a separation for me, but I tried to start the single and I couldn't do it, so I doubled it, and now this stupid thing looks like worsted. It's just not delicate and drapey like I wanted. And plus, if I used it single, the pattern calls for 110 more yards than I have in this mini kit. And so I was like, well, I guess I'll just do something else. So my idea was to take these triangles. I saw this beautiful shawl where you take triangles and you have one like this. Then the next one is actually like this, and you sew this edge to that edge, and you just keep going until you're done. And I had 5 colors, and it would be gorgeous. And I kind of moved my way through a pattern and kind of cannibalized it and did what I wanted. I did some raised eyelets and some inside eyelets. It just has a garter stitch border on either side of the eyelets to make it raise up just a tiny bit. But it looks like worsted, and I don't really even like it. It's just whatever. And I started, this is my first garter tab cast on ever in my life. And I've bought in so many patterns where there's a garter tab cast on, and I just couldn't get it down. And finally I watched a video where I watched a Stephen West video on how to do a garter tab cast on, and I was like, oh my gosh, how could I not have gotten this? I was watching like Pumpkinhead or something, or oh no, Jeepers Creepers. I was watching the Jeepers Creepers movies, and I was doing it, and I put on a garter second color, and it looked too beefy and bulky. And again, it's like too bulky when you double hold this yarn, and I don't know. So I got to rip all of this out now, and I have all those colors, and so I did find a pattern that I had already, and it is for this yarn, but it's way less yarn. I have way less yarn again than the pattern. Even if I hold it single, this pattern takes like almost 2,000 yards of fingering yarn. And I wrote to them on the comment section, because it was a Facebook post about the pattern, and I said I just bought a mini skein set of 5 of your Allure fingering. Will it work? And she's like, no. The person who answered, because it's never her, answered no, that you would need way more yarn than that. So I'm going to, after I was thinking about it last night in bed, I was like, well, it's a repeat of 18, and it's a really long, widely open cowl that's really tall, and it's made with 3 colors. And so I was like, well, crap, I could just do less repeats and not make it as insanely long as the one that she wears is, because it goes all the way down to like below her hips when she puts it on, and then you flip it over and double it more again. And cowls are like my favorite thing to make. Knitting in the round is just so therapeutic. Hi, Bubbles. Anyway, knitting in the round is so therapeutic. The other thing that I've been making that I actually started making with that jeweled kit is a arrow shaped knit, and I am using the remnants of my macchiato cakes with a solid ball of atomic aqua. There's 0 aqua in here. This is green, lime green, dark green, pinks and yellows, and there is 0 aqua in this. And then I am using the like remnant balls of my other macchiato cakes and slowly kind of hiding them in there. I did a purple first, and then let's face it forward, shall we? I did a purple first, and then from here all the way up to here is the big cake, and then it started turning pink, so I put the pink in there, and then I rejoined until it turned yellow, and then I added one of these in there, and then I'm going to go back to the original cake for a while and then add like a different color. Maybe I'll just put the purple at the ends, because the purple doesn't really go with this. And there is a gray that I was going to put in there. And this is so simple. It's so simple, but when you use fingering yarn, the amount of startup stitches is a great deal. So I did 50 in total. So there's 25 and then 1 and then 25 on that side. The initial one was 50 on each side in fingering, and I think it probably would have been like that wide altogether, but I didn't want to do it that wide. I just like the idea of it being really long and beautiful and arrow. And then the top is pointed. You just cannot see very good that it is pointed. It's such a fun knit. I love it. This is like one of those mindless ones as well, where you're just like, I can just go for days just winding around in circles. I am going to rip out the one I showed you just a minute ago, because I want to do a cowl, because cowls are like my favorite thing to make besides blankets for her lately. I've been making a lot for her, and I finished, this was supposed to be a poncho, but it turned into just a lap blanket for sitting here, even though it's like super narrow. It was supposed to be a poncho piece where you sewed the 2 ends together and you use it like a bolero, but it bunches up in a weird way that I don't really like, and I won't wear it because it fits, it pushes on your back shoulder area, love handle-y kind of area, in a weird way when you're sitting with it against something. It just feels like I'm leaning up against something, so I don't want to do it. Also, you guys need to get one of these. This is hilarious. I have been using him. I got this for my birthday a few years ago from his kid's mom and grandma, and it's this brand, the Cable Guys, and you can find these all over Amazon in different things and Marvel and all sorts of crap. But it's a phone holder. But it is so funny to set things on his hands, and he holds my yarn sometimes, like just real still, or my project. I've put cat treats in his little hand and had Lita eat them out. It was freaking hilarious. I really want a Hellraiser one. Like, I want to cut his head off and put a Hellraiser 3D printed head on it. Of Pinhead, and change his suit a little bit, but he's cool. But I've been putting a lot of weird things. He was just holding this. Let's put him on it. I'm trying to do all this before he comes back from the dispensary. I don't know if I can pick it up at the same time. He was just holding this for me. It's my light. Oh, such crap. He was holding this a second ago, and there's like, the light is all weird now. There you go, my little pet. Yeah, he was holding this for me, and it just looks so funny because he's constantly doing stuff. And yesterday I put it, Lita was eating her food, because she eats her food off of this little tray thing right here. She was eating her food, and I put it underneath her little tummy, like it was holding her. But right now he's holding my phone. And, yeah. So, those are the two things I'm making right now, and I've made her endless blankets, and now it's like today and yesterday are going to be like 100 degrees, so not really into making anything right now. Maybe I'll start that. I have to unravel that yarn, that's the fingering yarn, and I'll start the new cowl. I'm going to make, it's that one that's like the ripples with the eyelets where the ripples are, and then the stitches on either side are your knit two together 3 times on either side, and then the inside is the yarn over knit one like a few times, and it makes that really cool wave. And I've never done any knitting waves, I've only ever done straight stuff, so I'm really excited to like try that. I could do it in the flat, but really I give up on flat things because it's just like back and forth. But when it's in a circle, you just I don't know, it's like this weird rhythmic thing when I'm knitting in the round. And I got this yarn from, hold on. There is this alpaca farm that we go to in Central Oregon, and they have all this expensive yarn, and for some reason their yarn was on sale. These skeins of colors that had like, some of them were just blue and green and white, and some were just white, some were just black. But it was only like 6 colors, and they were $10 a skein, and usually the yarn is $30 a skein. And so I buy it, I'm all giddy, I made my choices, he helped me, and I get into the car and I'm loving on the yarn, and we're parked at our campsite, and I'm starting to read it. Everything in their shop at the alpaca farm where you can feed and pet the alpacas, everything in their place is made by someone locally. And I'm talking like fingerless mitts and big like elaborate sweaters and little stuffed animals made out of their fur, and little those orb things that have the remnant roving in it, wool in it and stuff like that, so birds can pick it out. You can buy that. This is Peru. This is made in Peru. This is yarn made in Peru. It's not even their yarn. The yarn I bought from them before was $30 a skein. This was supposed to be like 25, but it was down on for 10. It usually has the name of the alpaca that they have on the farm there specifically. They tell you what one it was sheared from, and this is yarn from Peru. But on the upside, 100% of the profits for this go to, you know, building schools and literacy for people. Let's see, what did it say? The purchase of this yarn empowers women in the Peruvian highlands. These talented women are involved in every step of the process. They raise the alpacas, harvest. So yeah, every bit of this goes to their education, which is fine. It's just the novelty of buying yarn from the alpaca that I just literally hand fed was kind of what I was into. And this stuff is gorgeous, so I'm not disappointed. I just thought that they didn't do anything that wasn't local. But that's a good thing. I mean, that's a good thing. Still good. Still good. So I'm going to make hats out of that, like, whenever. Like, later in the season, you know, when it's time for that. Or when I get bored. You know, projects are always subject to change based on your boredom level and what you want to be super easy. So, yeah, we're going to rip out some yarn. Yes, we are. And wind it back up. It's going to be 100 degrees today, so he's acting out. He's been acting out for the last 2 days more than normal, so I'm just trying to maintain. And he apparently wants to go camping again tomorrow. We never are home. I'm never with her. I'm always camping somewhere on the beach or we're always gone. And, you know, we took her camping with us once and she was not the best. So I would really like to retrain her to be a van cat like she used to be. But she loves the openness and the ability to walk in and out without, you know. So we have to go grocery shopping today on the hottest day of the year, which I don't think he's going to really want to do. We should probably go tomorrow morning, now that I think about it. But I have to put money in my account because he wants to buy a new scooter because his scooter went bad and the shocks on mine went bad and the brakes went bad and we fixed those, and then the next thing broke, and then the next every time he fixes something, like on this last trip he literally had to use a log of wood, like a this big around, probably like that long, and stick it back so that the shock that fell off while he was scootering in the desert, it's replacing that. So then he made his own hard ones, but the wheel didn't work, so he tried to fix the wheel, and now it's only got one powered wheel of 2. So I have to put like $800 in my account so that I can buy him he can buy himself a new scooter, and it will be brand new. But I told him wheeling on these things was probably a bad idea, even though it's in the videos and the pictures. It's like he rides things to death. I think we've had him for like since 2021 or 2022. Yeah. But yeah. So thank you for watching. If you're still here, hi. Let's be friends. What are you working on right now? What knitter's block? Oh, that's the subject I wanted to talk about. Everybody on the Facebook groups never posts, first of all, and if they do, it's always what's a good baby blanket. But people are talking about knitters and crocheter block. My way to solve that is I just watch knitting videos or crocheting videos of people doing it, or meeting up and doing it, or podcasts about it, and all of a sudden I want to be doing it too. As soon as I see somebody crocheting or knitting, I want to do it too. So that is my solution to you out there if you've gotten this far in the video. If you have... She's put her tail right over me. If you have knitting and crocheting block, just watch some podcasts on knitting and crocheting, and then all of a sudden you won't want to be doing it. Plus there is also an audiobook series. It's like this mystery mini series. It's like 27 books now of this girl who owns a knitting or a yarn shop, and there's like vampires and ghosts and all sorts of stuff like that. And I have like most of those audiobooks, and they're really cool to listen to. And then all of a sudden you want to knit because they talk about it a little bit. They're like, well, everybody here, I thought my grandma was dead, but she's not really dead. She's a vampire. She likes to knit, and they don't eat people, you know, like, and her friends and them come up for knit nights, and they're the vampire group knitting people. But then there's bad people and good people and all sorts of stuff in these books. But it's like, it's a good solution to like having the block. The only reason why I'm blocked technically is because it takes a lot of concentration for me to find a pattern and think I can do it and research it and watch the video of it, and I don't ever get not interrupted because he's usually sitting right there, and every time I get into anything he starts asking me questions about other stuff, and it's like I have no downtime. It's all just me doing what I know I can already do without having to learn something, because if I have to learn something he's just relentless. So apparently we're going camping tomorrow. So for 3 days probably I will be up at Mount Hood knitting and having fun in the warm, because it's not supposed to be as warm up there as it is here.